If a modern Marine squad were to encounter 1,000 samurai in feudal Japan, who would win? At first glance, the sea forces would undoubtedly prevail over the samurai. The end of the story, right? Not quite. Let's pay attention to the story. Take, for example, the Battle of Omdurman. The British-Egyptian army, armed with rifles and machine guns, defeated the Sudanese forces numbering 50,000 warriors. The British lost 47 men, while the Sudanese lost over 10,000. It was not a battle, but a massacre. Like the Omdurman, the samurai charging into battle would be defeated before they could strike with their swords. Cruel, fast, and frankly boring. But there are other factors. What if the samurai do not panic? What if they show their legendary discipline and continue to fight despite the loud and deadly sounds of weapons? Now that's a completely different story. First, let's see what each side brings to the fight. There are 18 people in the Marine unit, 16 operators, 2 officers, and 14 group members. They are all trained in diving, demolition work, and parachuting. And this is just the beginning. Their main weapon is the M4 rifle, equipped with holographic sights, lasers, and silencers. As auxiliary weapons, they use Glock 19 caliber pistols, as well as grenades for explosions and flashbangs to blind opponents at close range. Some operators bring additional firepower: MK-46 or MK-48 machine guns, sniper rifles, and explosives like mines and C4. Their drones, night sights, and modern radios would probably look like real magic to the samurai. Isn't that enough? The samurai used spears, maru, sharp katanas, as well as short wakizashi as backup weapons and yumi bows, accurate at distances of up to 150 meters. Their lacquered armor, oyoi, was impressive but actually only decorative against bullets. Some were on horseback, giving them speed and an element of surprise, but most fought on foot. Some even had early matchlock guns, but against modern weapons, it was like bringing a candle to a fight with a flamethrower. In terms of armament, it was a complete mismatch. If this were just an open battle, watching it would be like seeing a tornado destroy a house made of rice paper. But weapons are only part of the story. Now that we know what each side has in their arsenal, it's time to discuss something equally important: logistics. The Marine units are created for quick surgical operations. They are trained to strike swiftly and retreat, rather than engage in long, exhausting battles. The Marine units carry enough ammunition, food, and water for several days. After that, they will have to rely on local resources. Feudal Japan is not abundant in ready rations. At the same time, the samurai have an advantage on their native land. They know the terrain, have local supplies, and are accustomed to long campaigns. Samurai armies traveled with support teams, cooks, armorers, and laborers, allowing them to continue battles for weeks if necessary. Water would not be a major problem. The sea folk have tablets for purification and portable filters, so rivers and streams would help them survive, but food would be much more complicated. Hunting wild animals in unfamiliar forests, avoiding patrols, and carrying 40 kilograms of gear is unbearable in the long term. There is also the relief, the surrounding environment. In the open fields, sea lions dominate. There are no chances here. But in the dense forests of Japan, the situation is different. Narrow paths, endless hideouts, the perfect setting for a samurai ambush. Long-range rifles suddenly cease to be insurmountable when attacked from 10 different sides. However, the sea lions have one big advantage: night vision goggles. At night, the battlefield changes. With night vision goggles, they can move, fight, and raid in complete darkness. While the samurai swing their swords at shadows, sea lions can attack unnoticed, striking and disappearing before the samurai understand what happened. But if the sea lions cannot finish the fight quickly, the situation will begin to worsen. Supplies will begin to dwindle, fatigue will increase, and 16 people cannot run from 1,000 for long before their numerical advantage becomes apparent. The tactics of the Navy SEALs will have a huge advantage due to training, technology, and precision. They will split into groups of 2 or 4, moving quickly while others cover them. This is called movement escort. Staying mobile will be critically important. Strike hard, constantly change position. Do not let the samurai get close. But the samurai will not simply walk into bullets. They will spread out, maneuver across the terrain, and try to force the sea lions into close combat, where swords have the advantage. If this happens, the situation will quickly become dangerous. 16 operators can only cover a limited number of angles, and in confined spaces, guns and knives cannot withstand the years of mastery of swords. Samurai will also not waste energy on grand dramatic attacks. They will act smartly, staying hidden, setting traps, and gradually exhausting the sea lions. They won't need a clean victory, just enough pressure to leave the sea lions with no options. Now let's talk about the numbers, because this is not just shooting. It's a numbers game. Each sea lion usually carries about 210 rounds for its M4 rifle, 7 magazines. But since there will be no transport, most will probably take more with them. Perhaps 8 or 9 magazines, which will increase the number of cartridges to 240 or 360. Even with perfect shooting, which happens very rarely, each sea lion will need to eliminate about 62 samurai to take down all 1,000. Reloading takes 2 to 3 seconds. This seems quick, until your life depends on it. If you shoot too quickly, rifles overheat, which can lead to jamming, barrel damage, or worse, breakage. Help comes from machine gunners. Operators with the Mk-46 can fire at a rate of 850 rounds per minute, but ammunition belts run out quickly. 100 bullets in 7 seconds, 200 in 14. But reloading takes significantly longer than changing the magazine, about 7 seconds. Every bullet counts. Every reload is a risk. And the samurais need just one thing: a crack in the rhythm. By flipping mathematics, each samurai must eliminate only 1/6 of a sea lion. Yes, strange math, I know. And here's another aspect: a psychological game. Some samurai may flee if they see dozens of their comrades fall to bullets before they can get close. However, samurai are warriors raised on principles of honor. Retreat was not part of their strategy, but even Navy SEALs are not immune, fighting against a wave that never ceases, knowing that one mistake could be the last. The pressure builds rapidly. So how does it all end? In the first scenario, the sea lions strike first and very powerfully. They use everything: automatic rifles with silencers and lasers, machine guns for group destruction, grenade launchers, fragmentation grenades, flare grenades, and claymore mines. Snipers eliminate targets from a distance. Assault troops set explosive traps. Drones conduct aerial reconnaissance. With night scopes, they move like ghosts and strike without warning. It is fast and brutal. In this scenario, 1,000 samurai stand no chance, completely defeated before they even face issues of fatigue, injuries, or lack of supplies. In the second scenario, the samurai act wisely. They do not rush into attack. They remain hidden, waiting in the forests, along paths, and everywhere they can set an ambush. They let the sea lions exhaust their supplies day by day, without food, without rest, without support. The sea lions continue to move, continue to fight, but they are becoming slower, weaker, and ultimately more vulnerable. And if this drags on long enough, everything could go wrong. There is a real possibility that the samurai will be able to acquire the equipment of the sea lions, but without preparation, most of it will be useless or, worse, dangerous. Imagine what it's like to shoot a rifle not knowing the safety is on, or to pull the pin of a grenade without any idea of what's happening. And even if they figure it out, most will just blow themselves up, shoot themselves in the legs, or in confusion throw it aside.